Finding slope from a graph. So we're still Unit 8 functions, slope from a graph. Our objective, we want to identify a constant slope from tables and graph. So a slope, we're trying to find slope in a line. Slope is constant change. So slope is how a line is changing. Okay, if it's going up, if it's going down, if it's going horizontal, or if it's going vertical, it's changing. Okay, and it's a constant change. A line isn't going to zigzag, then it wouldn't be a straight line. So it's constantly going up, constantly going down, constantly moving in one direction. And M is the letter that we use to represent slope. So slope equals rise over run. Go ahead and say that to yourself. Press pause and say that to yourself about 5 times, 10 times, okay? Rise over run, rise over run, rise over run. Okay, tomorrow we're going to learn that it's the change, again, change in Y over change in X. We're going to talk about this tomorrow. Today we're just focusing on rise over run, rise over run, rise over run. Okay, and it kind of makes sense that it's the change in Y over change in X, because if you think about it, if we've got a Y and an X-axis, our rise is along the Y, and our run is along the X-axis. So it's change in Y over change in X, rise over run. I like to think about slope as kind of skiing. And so when you're skiing, you are traveling up the mountain. You're going in a positive direction on a ski lift, right? When you're going down, you're going in a negative direction, okay? If you've never heard of cross-country skiing, you are not going up, you are not going down, you're traveling straight across. You haven't heard of it because it is no fun. It's really boring. So therefore it is zero fun. The slope, the change is zero. It's not changing. Okay, if you're walking straight across, your elevation is not changing. Okay, so positive, negative, zero. And then let's say you're skiing and you come to a cliff and you fall down this cliff. Okay, there is a mathematics curse word that you can yell when you're falling down this cliff, and it's undefined. So when you're falling down a cliff, yes, I will allow you to yell that. If you stub your toe in my classroom, yes, you can yell this awful, awful, awful curse word. That means there's no definition. The answer is not zero, it's undefined. So when you're falling off a cliff, you're going straight down. That is a vertical line. It is undefined, okay? So that's one way I like to think of the difference of these kinds of slopes. All right, so we're gonna kind of practice our input and outputs from yesterday. These are all the things that we're inputting and outputting. So the numbers we're inputting for X. And we're gonna add 2 to each one of these. So we take X and add 2. Negative 1 plus 2, 0 plus 2, 1 plus 2, and 2 plus 2. Let's make sure we're paying attention to our negatives. Different signs differ, we are 0. Negative 1, different signs differ, and my positive is bigger. 0 plus 2, 1 plus 2, and 2 plus 2. And then we're going to graph this. And we're going to be, it's kind of like you read a book. You go from the left to the right when talking about positive or negative slopes. So we're going to graph negative 2, 0, negative 1, 1, run 0, jump 2, run 1, jump 3, and run 2, jump 4. And so a lot of you are saying, what about that rise over run? You still plot points the same. You still run before you jump, run before you jump. We are not talking about slope. That's just graphing points, okay? And from left to right, this goes in a positive direction. Now, if you're one who likes to think of the glass half full, you might say, well, it's going down as well. So down, but we always travel from the left to the right. So it's going up. It's going in a positive direction. And over here, we've got a little bit more to do here. So we're going to take every single one of our x's and multiply it by a negative 2. And then we're going to add 1 at the end. So negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. And then we're going to add 1. And that's 5. We're going to multiply by a negative 2, which is 2 plus 1 for 3. We're going to multiply by negative 2. That's 0 plus 1 is 1. We're going to multiply by negative 2. That's negative 2 plus 1. That's negative 1. Different signs differ, and our negative is bigger. and multiply -2 times 2, that is 4, sorry, -4 plus 1 for -3. And let's plot those. -2, jump 5, -1, jump 3, 0, jump 1, 1, jump -1, and 2, jump -3. You can use that lanyard again to draw that slope, your ID, I mean. And from left to right, we are going down, so this is a negative slope. And here we are, a horizontal line, y equals -4. So there is no x in this equation. So no matter what x is, y is always -4. So we're going to plot that. Run -2, jump -4. Run -1, jump -4. Run 0, jump -4. Run 1, jump -4. And run 2, jump -4. Okay, and this is that cross-country skiing that we talked about. How is our lane changing? Is it going up? No. Is it going down? No. But is it changing? Yes, there is 0 change. So our answer is 0. And if you're looking for rise over run, you're not rising at all. But you can run anything you want, like let's say 10. This answer is not 0 over 10, it's actually going to be 0. Okay, so make sure you write 0 and not 0 out of 10. Because over here, now all of our x's are 3's and there's no y. So no matter what I run, sorry, if I run 3 and jump -2, no matter what I jump, my run is always 3. So I'm going to run 3, jump -2, jump -1, jump 1, jump 1, and jump 2. And graph those. And this is falling off a cliff, which we call undefined. Undefined is different than 0. This means there's no answer. It's not an answer of 0. There is no answer. So they call it undefined. Now let's say we were to go rise over run. We can rise as many as we want. Let's say 10. But we're not running left or right. So that is 0. We can't leave our answer like this. I need to know that you know this is 0. Because you can never actually divide by 0. Okay. Another way of thinking of that is it's possible for you to bring a total of 10 cookies and I get 0 of them. But is it possible for me to get 10 cookies when you didn't bring any at all? Okay, so this is not possible. So essentially 0 slope is horizontal. And you can't say straight because both of these are straight. All of these are straight. So you can say left to right if you need. You could also say cross-country skiing. You could write 0, fun. It's however you need to remember that. And then undefined is vertical. So it goes up and down. Okay, falling off a cliff. Okay, when you're falling off a cliff, there's that word you can scream. Okay? Now we're going to actually find slope, and this is where we're going to rise over run. First, you want to find nice 2 points that are at where the horizontal and vertical, our x and our y-axis lines meet. This one, it's actually given to you. The points are given to you. They have found 2 plots on here. Okay, and I'd like you to write, please, rise over run. Okay, and you're going to draw a right triangle that, let's say this was your friend's house and your house, and you need to get home as quick as possible, but you have to use the sidewalks. You have to use these vertical and horizontal lines, and you've got to draw a right triangle. So go ahead and draw yourself a right triangle that gets you from A to B quick as possible. Maybe you go this way, or maybe you go this way. It doesn't matter. So I'll go this way first, and we're going to go rise over run. So the way I'm rising is going to be this way. And I'm going 1, 2, up. And I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, back. So my rise is 2, and my run is -5. That right there is my slope, a -2/5. It doesn't matter where your negative is. Because if I were to go this way, and you don't have to, just choose one. Okay, now let's say I went this way. Okay, my rise is -2, and my run is a +5. So my rise is -2, and my run is +5. Same thing. Okay, let's go to the next one. So draw that right triangle connecting the 2. You've got to get home fastest way possible. Okay, so my rise here is 1. And my run, so I went down, which is a negative. So my rise is -1. Okay, make sure you're writing this, please. And my run, I'm also going backwards. I'm going in negative. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So -4. Well, 2 negatives makes a positive. So these both become positive, and my slope is 1/4. Now let's say you drew your slope this way, your right triangle this way. My rise, I'm going up 1, and I'm running 1, 2, 3, 4. So my rise was 1, and my run was 4. So my slope is 1/4 either way. I can also take a look at this, and from left to right, I'm traveling in a positive direction. So I know that's got to be positive. Right here, go ahead and draw your triangle wherever you think you need to. Okay, let's say you went up. You went this way. Okay, so you rise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my rise over run, it always helps to write this. My rise was 5, and my run is 2. So it's 5/2. I'm going to leave that in proper. I don't want to change that to a mixed number. Okay, this is the best way to write a slope. If I went the other way, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I rose, so my rise was -5. And my run is 1, 2, -2. 2 negatives gives me a positive, and it's 5/2. Okay, and right here, I've got rise over run, or rise over run. It doesn't matter. Just pick one, though. Okay, rise over run. I rise 1, and I'm running backwards. I'm going 1, 2, and 3. And if I check, yep, that is a negative slope. So we are -1/3. Doesn't matter where your negative is, as long as there's only one of them. And right here, I'm going to make my connection there. It always has to be a right angle. Okay, and my rise, I'm rising down, so 1, 2. So rise is -2. And my run, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is a -2/5. And if you went the other way, you rose 2 to here, and you went backward, that's your -5. So rise 2 over -5. All 3 of these answers are perfect. And right here, I'd probably move along the axis just because they're going to be easier to count this way. So my rise is 4. I'm going in a positive direction. And my run, I'm going in a positive direction as well, 6. So my rise is 4 over 6. However, what do you notice about both of these numbers? They're even, so I can reduce. So divide by 2, and I get 2/3. That's a 3. Okay, the rest of this I want to try on your own. I will help you find some points, though. So right here, I would say let's zoom on in. They do happen to be here and there, I would say. And over here, probably there. It looks like it's there. And let's go rise. So 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I bet there was one there then too, because if my rise is 2 and my run is 4, I can actually reduce that to 1/2, and it's a positive 1/2. And let's see, right here, you can probably find quite a few. There's one. There's one. It looks like this one's kind of hard to see. Let's see. Let's go to like M. So there's no points. You've got to find 2. So like right there, my line crosses 2 coordinates perfectly, and right there. Okay, you're going to be able to find more, but you want to choose 2 that are closest together, because then you won't have to reduce. So this is 1 over 2. If I were to choose 2 that were further, I would have 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I would have to reduce this to 1/2. Okay? And I noticed that this is a negative slope, so that should be negative.